Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, this is Core's Life. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my experience with getting the second dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. I received the Moderna vaccine and I initially made a video of my experience with the first dose. So this is just a follow-up video where I explain my symptoms and exactly my experience. If you're interested, keep watching and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm just going to start by going over the process of the COVID-19 vaccine. If you haven't seen my first video where I go over the symptoms and my experience with the first dose of the Moderna vaccine, I do recommend that you watch that. So basically, to recap, I am a healthcare worker in Southern Oregon and I received my first dose of the Moderna vaccine about a month back, and I just received the second dose a few days back. So in this video, I'm going to go over the symptoms and my whole experience with it. So for the second dose of the Moderna vaccine, I did go back to the same clinic and I received the second dose. In this one, it was a lot quicker than the first time I went. It was kind of an in and out thing. I didn't have to wait in a line or anything. I showed up to the clinic, I sent them a text message letting them know that I'm here, and then they let me into the clinic, and then they gave me the vaccine, and I had to sit about 15 minutes in observation in my car until they were sure that I didn't have any sort of allergic reaction to the vaccine, and once everything was good, I was able to drive off. So basically, once I came home, I didn't have any sort of symptoms for the first, I would say, about 24 hours. Everything was normal. I was thinking, okay, I'm not gonna have any symptoms, but I've heard in the past, like, you know, with my friends who have also received the vaccine and other co-workers, that basically the symptoms start about 24 hours after. So for the whole first 24 hours, everything was fine. You know, I went about my day. I didn't have any sort of muscle soreness. I didn't have any sort of fatigue or fever or chills. And then I went to bed, and the next morning when I woke up, I did have a pretty high fever and a lot of fatigue and muscle soreness. So when I checked my fever in the morning, it was around 101.5, and I was pretty tired throughout the whole day, kind of bedridden. I had to take a lot of fluids. I felt very dehydrated. I did have to take Tylenol. I took about an extra strength every 6 to 8 hours to help the fever go down, and my fever did stay for about 48 hours, and it went on and off from super high to around a little bit over 101.5 to fluctuating back down to around 100. And I went through episodes of hot and cold where I was sweating off the fever, and then an hour later I was having chills and experiencing the fever again. So throughout the whole time, in addition to that, I did have a lot of muscle and joint soreness, and that lasted about 72 hours after. So once the fever went down after about 48 hours, everything was feeling like normal again. I just had a bunch of muscle soreness at that time and just some fatigue, but it wasn't anything that wasn't manageable. About after 72 hours, the symptoms started to resolve. The muscle soreness, the fatigue, everything was starting to go away, and I was starting to feel like normal. So most of the symptoms that I did experience, the main one was the fever, the chills, the muscle soreness, the fatigue, and another really big symptom that I experienced, which I have heard is pretty common with the Moderna vaccine, is that I did have the COVID arm, which was basically in the area of the injection. I had a big red marking. It wasn't inflamed or anything. It was just kind of in that area. It was very red. The arm felt heavy throughout the whole time. That is one symptom which is very similar to what I had experienced with the first dose. So basically it felt like a bruise in that area where it was injected, and it felt very heavy, as if you're holding like a 5 to 10 pound weight in that hand. And that heaviness and that arm soreness stayed for about 5 days for me after I got the injection. So other than that, all of the other symptoms had resolved. So the main points basically is that I would recommend that if you are getting the COVID-19 vaccine, whether it's the first dose or second dose, make sure you're well rested the night before. Make sure you are prepared, cook something, have food ready. That way, in case you do experience any of these symptoms, you don't struggle to feed yourself and eat and rest. And throughout the whole time when you are experiencing these symptoms, get enough rest. Don't do anything too crazy. Stay in bed or on your sofa to kind of rest it off. Keep drinking fluids, keep having water, electrolytes, because you do feel very dehydrated. Another recommendation that I do have is expect that arm soreness. So if you are to get that injection, make sure you get it in your non-dominant arm, which I had mentioned in the first video too. That way, you know, if you do something which involves your arm, you don't feel that soreness days after. Yeah, so that's basically my experience of getting the second dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, and I did receive the Moderna vaccine. With the Pfizer vaccine, the symptoms might be a little bit different, but I've heard quite a few of them overlap. So just be safe, everyone. Even after getting the vaccine, make sure you continue to take your precautions. Really social distance, wear your mask, because even though you did receive that vaccine, you still have a chance of getting the COVID-19 virus. There are quite a few strains that are coming out, so really continue to take your precautions and do your part to help out. And once again, I really appreciate all of the scientists that have worked hard to form these vaccines and make it available to the public. And if you do get the opportunity to get the vaccine, please do, because in the end, you know, we all need to work on fighting this virus together so that we can get a little bit closer to a normal life. Take care, everyone, and be safe. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos.